If you have read Reverend Insanity, you already know Fang Yuan is not your typical kind hero. He is not here to save the world. He is not here to inspire kindness. In fact, he'll rob, scheme, and betray without a second thought. And yet, you can't stop rooting for him. If you have read Reverend Insanity, you already know Fang Yuan is not your typical hero. He's not here to save the world. He's not here to inspire kindness. In fact, he'll rob, scheme, and betray without a second thought. And yet, you can't stop rooting for him. You hate him for what he does, but deep down, you admire him more than any good protagonist you have ever read. Why? Because Fangman isn't just a character, he's a force of nature, and the one thing you should steal from him is his unbreakable perseverance. At first glance, Fangman feels like a typical evil main character, cold-blooded, calculating, the reason behind their actions being hatred, trauma, revenge, etc., as you already know, but is quite different. Many people think that Fang Yuan was a heartless person or was filled with hatred and rage. They thought that this was the reason behind his evil actions, but the truth is, he has abundant emotion. He does not lack anything. Even though he pursues strength, he is not obsessed with it. What drives him to do this is his goal. This goal is deeply ingrained in his heart. Not only 3 lifetimes, even after 100 lifetimes, it cannot be eradicated. This person cannot be reformed. Also, Fang Yuan never pretends to be a saint. He doesn't wear the mask of morality to hide his selfishness. He's honest about his own selfishness, and that honesty is what makes you love him despite everything. Many people hate Feng Yuan because he doesn't follow the rules you have been taught. He doesn't protect the innocent just because they are innocent. He won't throw away his life for some higher ideal. But you love him because he wins against impossible odds, against enemies stronger than him, against fate itself. You admire him the way he never collapses under pressure. He treats every failure as a stepping stone, every victory as a fuel for the next battle. He doesn't let emotions cloud his judgment. He's not emotionless. He simply refuses to let weakness decide his path. Most protagonists are shaped by destiny, chosen by fate, blessed with plot armor, handed allies just when they needed them. Fang Yuan is different. He doesn't rely on fate. He wages war against it. He doesn't wait for an opportunity. He makes it. He knows the world is cruel. So instead of wishing it were kinder, he becomes strong enough to survive its cruelty. And here's the biggest difference. Where other characters have hope, Fang Yuan has certainty. The certainty that only through relentless effort can you control your life. No miracles, no gods, no luck, only work, strategy and patience. No, wait, I might have been wrong about luck. Luck is a major deciding factor that is like a completely different topic, so we'll talk about that later on. Now this is where we stop romanticizing his cruelty and start stealing his mindset. Fang Yuan's greatest weapon isn't his intelligence or his 500 years of experience or some dumb crap like that. It's his perseverance. When plans fail, he rebuilds them. When he's injured, he keeps moving. When the entire cultivation world hunts him, he plays the long game until the hunters are the hunted. Think about this. How many times in your life have you quit things when things got too hard? When you didn't see progress fast enough? Fang Yuan would spit on that kind of thinking. He teaches us, you don't stop because it's hard. You stop only when the goal is achieved. And if it's not achievable yet, you make yourself stronger until it is. There is a really famous quote from him. He was still expressionless. He continued to move forward relentlessly. I had once screamed. Gradually, I lost my voice. I had once cried. Gradually, I lost my tears. I had once grieved. Gradually, I became able to withstand everything. I had once rejoiced. Gradually, I became unmoved by the world. And now, all I have left is an expressionless face. My gaze is as tough as a monolith. Only perseverance remains in my heart. This is my own, an insignificant character. Fang Yuan's perseverance. And that's exactly why you hate him and love him at the same time. Because he's willing to do what you aren't. That's why you love him. Because part of you wishes you could be that unshakable. And that's why you admire him. Because even though his morality is questionable, his determination is unquestionable. You may never agree with how he achieves his goals, but you can't deny the power of someone who never stops moving forward. In the end, Fang Yuan is a mirror. Fang Yuan is a mirror. He reflects the parts of yourself that want to survive at all costs, and the part that secretly wishes you had his discipline. You don't have to be as ruthless as Fang Yuan. You don't have to throw away your empathy, but if you can take even just 1% of his perseverance, his refusal to surrender, his patience, you will be unstoppable in your own story. That's why love him or hate him, Fang Yuan will stay with you long after the last chapter. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and let me down in the comments if Fang Yuan is evil or is he just honest about being human.